Hey everybody. So these next couple videos are going to be specifically discussing the aging process as well as a few diseases associated with the integumentary system, our skin. So that said, we can begin with aging. Aging is something that's going on all the time. As time goes on, you continue to age, which makes sense. And at puberty, the skin of women thickens somewhat. Therefore, it's going to contain more blood vessels as well as additional collagen that men do not necessarily have in different parts of their body, specifically in the facial features. So that said, that's something to keep in notice that there are some differences between men and women in that regard. As time goes on, you're going to start to see some degeneration of the skin, specifically the tissues within the skin. So around 40, you're going to start to see some significant changes within the different tissues in the skin, primarily within the dermis. So you may start to see some of those connective tissues breaking down. Maybe your skin is not able to produce the same quality as it used to previously in the younger years. And because of that, you're going to start to see some changes all throughout the body in the skin. In addition to the aging process, um, UV exposure can also, in a lot of cases, enhance the features of the aging process, but also can result in skin cancer. So there are different types of skin cancers, and some are more dangerous than others. And for example, the first one here, the most common of all the skin cancers is basal cell carcinoma, which is going to be from the stratum basale layer, the very bottom layer of the skin, if you remember that part. And this is the most frequent cancer, and it appears as a raised bump with a central depression. And it usually does not metastasize, however, it still can. If you remember what metastasizing is, right, it can continue to spread. Another type of skin cancer is squamous cell carcinoma. So this is going to be from the stratum spinosum layer. So usually you're going to see this in places like on the scalp, as well as ears, lips, and hands, and this is readily curable as well. However, it can metastasize and turn deadly if untreated. So slightly different layer of the skin. And then lastly, this is the deadliest of them all. This is melanoma, malignant melanoma, and this is usually going to arise from the melanocytes. Usually, it's going to occur in a place where there is an abundance of melanocytes, such as a pre-existing mole, and it's most likely in those who suffered from severe sunburns as children, and those who are paler of skin, and that's why redheads typically see that a little more often. Here are some images of those three cancer cells: squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and malignant melanoma. So we kind of started with aging, went into disease. We're going to hop back into aging. This is usually everyone's favorite slide because it just talks about how lovely life can be and how we're all going in the same direction, no matter who you are. That said, here are some of the things to look forward to down the road: scaly skin, age spots, dermis becomes reduced, loss of fat, which sounds great. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you otherwise. Again, that fat layer in the subcutaneous layer is there for a few reasons. One of them is structure and support, so perhaps this is not something you want because it's kind of like deflating the skin in a way. Wrinkles can also be enhanced because of this loss of fat. Sagging. Sebaceous glands secrete less oil, so drying out of the skin. Melanin production slows down. Hair is going to start to thin out. The number of hair follicles will decrease. So not only is your hair going to thin out, you're going to have less hair. Impaired nail growth. Sensory receptor decline. You're less likely to feel things. Inability to control body temperature. And then lastly, vitamin D production, which is not good for a couple reasons. If you remember vitamin D, we discussed its importance in the immune system, but also in your ability to grow your bones, bone strength, bone growth, bone mass. So now you're going to have less vitamin D production. So these are all of the lovely things that occur throughout life as you age. So now that we talked about all those happy thoughts, let's move into the next video. If you have any questions on lifespan, aging, or the different cancers we talked about, please let me know.